Yo, hell yeah. Wyatt begins in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, welcome to Wyatt, and I'm your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans. Grrr, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. Hi. I said hi to all my YouTubers out there. If you like what you hear and if you like what you see, then click all of them subscribe buttons at the bottoms of all of your screens. And because I knows you loves me, I know you do, I know you do, I know you do, give me some likes. And because I always like to know what you are thinking, send me some feedback. It's greatly appreciated. All right, this epi of Wyatt shines a spotlight on Grace Stone, the renowned Ugandan LGBTQ plus activist and human rights defender. Now, in our exclusive sit down, Grace talks about being a victim of anti-LGBTQ plus hate and violence and how he's fighting back for the community. So let's meet this winsome warrior right now. So without further ado, Wyatt welcomes Grace Stone, the renowned Ugandan LGBTQ plus activist and human rights defender. Greetings, Grace. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for that energetic introduction. Thank you so much.
Well,
How are
listen,
you?
I'm doing great. Look, I'm looking for extra income. So I would be more than happy to be your hype man or your promotional guy. So we can talk about that at the end of the show.
I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
No problem. Well, listen, man, thank you so much for appearing on Wyatt. First of all, let me ask you, I adore your first name. Is there a special meaning behind it?
My first name, Grace.
Exactly.
Grace,
Is there?
it's a name actually that was given to me by my parents, but I've lived it. I've had all the characters of Grace. I have a lot of grace naturally, and having a lot of grace on the entire LGBT community. I'm so empathetic. I'm so sympathetic when it comes to an LGBT person, and also being so forgiving. Sometimes I find myself extremely forgiving, which is uncalled for sometimes. So I've lived by grace. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I totally agree with you. And like I said before we started the show, you look marvelous. You look simply marvelous. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you so much. You know, when you put on, you expect such compliments. When they don't come, you're like, I think I did kill it today. Thank you so much for that compliment about my outfit.
well, listen, it means that I like you because if I don't like somebody, I don't give them compliments. But anyway, that's for another show. So I want to get right into the thick of things. In March of 2023, Grace, Uganda passed the Anti-Homosexuality Act, which prohibited any form of sexual relations between persons of the same sex in the guise of protecting the family structure. And same-sex relations were already illegal in your country before this new law, as well as in more than 30 other African countries. But however, this new legislation in 2023 goes further and is one of the world's toughest bans. So could you please describe this anti-LGBTQ plus legislation in more detail and its impact?
Thank you so much. About the Anti-Homosexuality Act that was passed in 2023, the act that doesn't only affect the entire LGBT community, but affects the entire country and every human being. It affects the donors, it affects the health sector, it affects our parents, it affects the landlord, it affects many aspects. This law was uncalled for. And it is a law that wasn't realistic at all, because when it contradicts with the constitution of Uganda, a law that is stopping health workers from giving health services to queer persons. At the same time, we have a constitution that says that every human being deserves health care for free that is safe. So it contradicts. This law, being that I work for the rural communities, this law has really affected all aspects. For instance, if you look at the journey of growing up queer Ugandan or a rural person, with rejection from school, they're suspended. They're suspended from their families because they are gay. And now maybe they become homeless, and maybe then they get shelter that is queer-led. And then when they get this shelter that's queer-led, for them to have a home, this law comes in. It is also targeting the safe spaces of queer individuals. So this individual that has faced a lot of attacks and neglects is having a small safe house where maybe they're living. This law is calling for the landlord to evict the community, to evict the queer community living in, pushing someone to become homeless. But also this law has made our advocacy somehow, where we've invested a lot, somehow become not useless, but setting us 5 steps backwards. Because when we advocate for health services, and now there are health workers that have changed their mindsets, they're giving out free services. And the law is saying any health worker found giving out health services will be arrested. Circulars have come in, but still it has not changed. So this law has affected the entire community financially, mentally, but also with livelihood, and also having a lot of arrests ongoing that are happening. But also this law has given politicians and law enforcers an opportunity to get money from the queer community, because the arrests keep on happening every now and then. And now when a queer person is arrested, for him or her to get a police bond, must pay a bribe. So somehow it is benefiting the law enforcers, but at the same time affecting us in all ways. And when I speak about our lived realities, for a queer person who has tried to get a job, they've also lost jobs because of their identity. I say, you cannot dress like this. Maybe the person is trans. You must put on like a man. You're not a woman. Maybe someone is out. Someone is out. They'll be like, you're gay. We're not giving you a job. So this law has affected us in many ways and in all aspects. Yeah.
You know, you spoke of lived realities, and I want to mention that in a second. You are a Ugandan LGBTQ plus activist and human rights defender, and you're fighting the good fight against this appalling and egregious legislation. You're the secretary of the Jinja, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. The
Ginger.
Jinja,
I'm the executive
Jinja,
director. Yeah.
I hate to
Yeah.
mispronounce. Okay, great. Thank you.
Ginger.
You're the secretary of the Jinja district of Uganda's Human Rights Committee, and you're the executive director of Lived Realities Uganda, a queer focused organization that you founded in 2018. And the organization provides safe spaces for sexual and gender minorities. It raises awareness, challenges religious and cultural misconceptions, and advocates for human rights. Congratulations on that. That's a big deal. So let's talk about that.
Lived Realities Uganda is the first organization in Jinja. Jinja is in the eastern region of Uganda. And then we're having a community that is called Busoga sub-region. So this comes through from lived realities when I was growing up as a young person, but also the things that were happening where we had no access to health services, we had no access to lubricants, we used to use oil, Vaseline, aloe vera, well, for sex, which was so dangerous. But also it comes in when a lot of attacks were happening. So I said, what do we want? What do we need? So it was a way of convening, first of all, bringing every queer person together and letting everyone know that you're not alone. We are here. We are family. And then when we convened, we said, what do we want? So we advocated for free health services in
Okay.
8 government health facilities in Ginger. And through this advocacy, health workers really changed their minds and they started giving out free health services in these 8 health facilities. And then we deployed 15 peer educators who were volunteers who were extending health services from the health facilities to the community down there, but also they were linking the community to the health sector, also providing ARVs, providing lubricants, providing PrEP. So that's how we started up. And then when we started up, we realized there is a problem of shelter. There's a problem of safety. So we started slowly creating safe spaces, not so nice, not so legit, but safe spaces where we could convene in a small room, live together, cook together, but also have a family. I remember we had a small room and we were 9 people staying in there. Until the landlord was like, "You're many." So that's how it started. Then we realized the problems we have and what you're supposed to do. And then we brought many allies on board. So because of my advocacy, I'm the first queer person in Ginger to be on the human rights committee. So because of this work that we were doing, the allies selected me to be on the committee, not particularly as an LGBT person, but as an outstanding human rights defender. So Lived Realities Uganda has extended these services to the community. We've extended safe spaces, safe shelter, safe health services. We are providing mental health services, counseling, and then we are trying to provide economic empowerment skills to our community. And this is done with no funding, actually, with all less funding. We don't have donors that are doing this, but it's through small networks and also doing with what we could.
Well, you know what? Again, Grace, I have to congratulate you. And this is such a comprehensive set of programs that you guys have put in place. A little bit later, we're going to talk more about Lived Realities Uganda. We're going to talk about the impact and consequences of anti-LGBTQ plus hate and violence in your country. But for now, my friend, let's travel down the corridors of time so we can find out your backstory. Because, see, the viewers of the Wyatt podcast are very, very nosy. They like to know what's going on with each and every guest, because I sometimes get emails saying, "You didn't ask enough questions about his background. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you ask the questions? Why?"
Why?
And needless to say, I do not respond to those emails. So anyway, but again, we could do a whole nother show about that. So let me ask you, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised from Ginger.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
and growing up from a poor family, and then I couldn't stay with my parents for so long. So most of my time I spent it with my grandparents, but still in Ginger. And I grew up from a Christian-based family. Yeah.
And again, Jinja is the rural part of Uganda, correct?
It is not the capital city, but it is also the loop, being it's a tourist area.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a tourist area, so it attracts a lot of tourists. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I'd like to ask my special guest this question. I'd love to do it, so I'm going to do it with you. What was Grace like as a little boy? Give us like 3 characteristics or attributes that best describe you. What were you like?
Grace was a funny person who used to make a lot of jokes. Grace was someone who could bring around children And it's something that used to disturb my mom. She cooks little food, and when I'm coming with other 10 children. But also, yeah. Grace was this person who could sing for the whole day in the bathroom, on the way when I'm sent at the shop, at night, in the church. So Grace grew up someone who sings a lot, makes a lot of noise all the time. And even when I'm pissed about someone, I could compose something that really attacks back, but in a song. So Grace grew up in that way. But also, Grace grew up as a God fearing person. The child was so God fearing, rise in church. Yeah.
Okay, so you were a good boy. I like that. Okay. Okay. I can say I like that. I like that a lot.
But stubborn
Okay.
too.
No. You
Yeah.
oh
Yeah, I
my.
was.
So you dug
Yeah.
your heels in when you had to. Okay. Wow. All right then, Mr. Feisty. But anyway, but
And just
seriously,
to acknowledge my pronouns, they, them. I forgot to say that. Yeah.
okay.
Got
Well,
you. Yeah.
okay. Well, let me get serious for a minute or so. Growing up, in Uganda, in Africa, how early on were you exposed to homophobia? Did you have any experiences with homophobia, LGBTQ plus sentiment?
Yeah, sure. As mentioned, sorry, this story is so emotional, and I'm praying to God I don't get emotional today.
Oh, sure.
As
Take
I
your time.
said, yeah, as I said, I grew up from church. So most of my
Hmm.
time, most of my childhood and the youthful age was spent in church. So growing up, I used to sing a lot, and I'm saying this boldly. Holy Spirit used to fall down on people whenever I used to worship. So the churches in Ginger, I was nominated as the choir leader for worship team in all churches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I used to sing on crusades. I used to sing in churches. I was hired to sing in churches. So when I started lived realities, I started exposing myself online, doing advocacy online. And I think
Nice.
somehow, little did I know that maybe the church would have access to it. So one time I was invited on a crusade by a pastor to really sing, and it was around 8 p.m. So as I was worshiping, I'd worshiped the first song. I was going to sing 8 songs. So the pastor comes on the pulpit with a microphone, and then he shouts. He grabbed the microphone from me, and then he shouted and said, "We cannot allow homosexuals to sing for us. We cannot allow devil worshippers to sing for us. You fool, can you slow down?" And this was in front of everyone. This was a mass, an open crusade. The same pastor who invited me humiliated me. So as I was shocked, I didn't expect it. I slowed down and left the pulpit. But then, since it was a big crowd, a group of youths pulled me up and started beating me up.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So they started beating me up. And from that crusade, I have 5 scars.
Oh my
So I
goodness.
went, I went, I went and reported the case to police, and they instead arrested me again. Instead of giving me protection, they really arrested me again. I'm sorry, I need to sneeze and hold
No.
my.
No, I really appreciate you sharing this. I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, as if that was the first phase of homophobia.
Hmm.
So more happened in church until they voted me out and said I shouldn't step in any church. But then growing up with my grandparents in a very
Hmm.
big family, a meeting sat, a clan meeting, and By that time, I had not started renting. I was staying with my grandparents. So meeting sat and they said, "We have disowned you. You're no longer part of us. And we're asking you to pack your things and leave." By that age, I didn't have any finances. I didn't know what to do. And I had to leave and I had to stay with friends
And how
who
old
were,
were you?
who I think by then I was around 19, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
18,
Right.
around 18 to 19 years. Yeah, 18 to 19. I started staying with friends because my parents were renting a very small house, staying with my
Okay.
siblings. I am the second born. I couldn't go back. And actually, it affected me and my brother because he was also disowned too. It was like, you should go together, all of you. So, tax came from family. But then, as we're doing this work, community really, really humiliated us. Let me go back to the bill before it became a
Sure.
law.
Please.
In Ginger, it's on record. It's one of the areas that did a lot of hate, expressed out a lot of hate and
Hmm.
unnecessary drama when this bill came up. We had a protest, the anti-homosexuality protest, that was organized by Muslims, and they marched with how are they called? With the tags and the maneras up, with the banners saying no to homosexuality, singing our names, exposing our pictures. And as that was happening, 3 police officers came to my home and they wanted to arrest us. It was saga. We had to hide, we had to run, we had to do ABCD. So just in that period of the bill before it became a law, we were humiliated a lot. I faced a lot of homophobic attacks. I couldn't move to a market and buy a piece of tomato because people know me. There was exposure on media where media personalities say, read out my name, read out my location, and ask the community to really attack me or kill me. So I'm a survivor of death, but also this series came up, continue to come up. You cannot get a motorcycle to go to the market or to go to town. They know you. This is the area you've grown up from. Where are you gonna run? So this really similar. This really kept on happening. But somehow we really survived. So if I count the homophobic things that happen, we count church, we count community, we count family, and these other things that kept on happening. we in rural areas. So I told my people, when power goes off, get your torches and put it on. So power had gone off, but I don't know if they're doing justice. It has disturbed the whole show. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know how
No,
you manage
listen.
editing.
No, no,
Mm.
no. We want to keep it in because you're being your authentic self and you are doing my listeners, my audience, my viewers such a great favor, Grace, because we need to know more about, anti-LGBTQ plus
Of
violence,
course.
hate, and sentiment in Africa. We really do. So um, you're courageous, and I'm just so privileged to have you on the show. Now, a bright spot of hope and resiliency is your organization, Lived Realities Uganda. And I believe the organization has established the House of Grace. So I like that, the House of Grace. So tell us more about that.
The House of Grace. Come again?
Hmm. Right, exactly, the House of Grace.
The House of Grace, as I said, it is a space that is providing shelter to really homeless ginger people, but also emergent space for someone who is drained mentally, for someone who is struggling with shelter, for someone who has lost maybe their jobs, but also it's a space for mental health, healing, grace filled in the house, music, providing hope to you, and also providing space where you can rest, sleep, and you're not worried about what to eat, rent, all these other essentials. So it's a space, and it has so far in history, if we are to tally, it has so far helped over 150 people, because we always have in groups. We can keep people in for 3 months, and then you have another group, and then you have another group, and then have another group. So most of the gender queer persons, they've really visited the House of Grace, and they've received shelter from there. It's just one activity, one of the programs that we do, but there are other multiple programs that we're doing, like a mini DIC that is really providing fast health services, mini clinic. I should use that. I don't know if you're familiar with the DIC drop-in center. We have a drop-in center that is providing fast health services to the queer community, but also keeping the commodities like HIV health testing kits, PrEP, PEP, having counselors that you can talk to.
That is awesome. That's wonderful, and it is so needed. Let's talk about singing. You sing and you sing, and you're a vocalist. You composed and performed. Yeah, you composed and performed a Ugandan queer anthem called "Here to Stay, Queer Ugandan," which was nominated as an official Ugandan Pride Song of 2024. Congratulations. So let's talk about what compelled you to create that.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
So when I left church, I decided to leave church, but I did not leave God. So I said, I'm done with Ugandan churches and most African churches, but I did not leave God. But I said, what else can I use my voice for? As I'm doing advocacy, I said, I have a talent. Okay, I'm shouting every time, I'm writing tweets, I'm doing these other things, I'm meeting officials, but I can use my voice. Because what I understand with music, it goes beyond. Actually, I may not reach in USA tomorrow, but my music will be there, my messages will be there. So I decided to use my voice for advocacy, to speak about our lived realities, but also provide hope to the queer community, but also to assure all homophobes that we are not leaving, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I express out my resilience through music. So after this old drama of the bill, I was like, okay, you've done it all. And when you listen to that song, it starts with a sound of a honorable member who said homosexuals should be castrated. So that's how the song starts. It starts with our voice. So when I started, I said, we are here to stay. You're going to do everything, but we are not leaving. We're going to be here. Another generation will come. Another generation will come. So it was a song that was provoking homophobes, but also providing hope, but also expressing out our resilience. And I got an opportunity and I launched it from Denmark. The song speaks the volumes. The song gives hope. It took me time to really get in myself, because I sang it and I was like, it's nice, it's nice. There's a time where I was depressed. There was a time I was struggling with a lot of low cases. This is happening. I listened to my song. I became emotional, but then I received hope. So this is a song that anyone in the world can listen to and really get hope.
I like it. I'm so glad you did it. And we're going to play it right now. So here is,
thank you.
Yeah, here, da 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 da. Here is title, Here to Stay, Queer Ugandan. Let's play it.
These people should be castrated.
Don't be the sebonga kugambye nyabo. Don't be the nyabonga kugambye ni sebo. Don't be the sebonga kugambye nyabo. Don't be the nyabonga kugambye ni sebo. Don't judge me by what you see. In my truth, I'm simple and me. Yeah. Born like these, I had no choice. I'm proud of you. Born like these, I had no choice. I'm proud of you. Here to stay as a Uganda. In my heart, the fire won't die. I'm here to stay as a Uganda. In my heart, the fire won't die. I'm here to stay as a Uganda. In my heart, the fire won't die. I'm here to stay as a Uganda. In my heart, the fire won't die. I'm here to stay as a Uganda. In my heart, the fire won't die. I'm here to stay as a Uganda. In my heart, the fire won't die. We won't be silenced. We won't be erased. Machine, hand in hand, love again. Ukuwakana, tuchai, obusozoze, notona, kumana. Ukuwakana, obuchai, obusozoze, notena, kumana.
And we're back. Outstanding. Grace, let me ask you, what has been the public reaction to Here to Stay Queer Ugandan? Has there been like a reaction to it?
I lost that. Please come again.
Oh, sure. What has been the public reaction to Here to Stay Queer Ugandan? Have you gotten feedback?
Yeah. I've received a lot of feedback, and I've not been able to get money out of the song because by that time I had no way of putting it on Spotify. They were getting all the ways of putting it off the internet. But then people have danced on that song, even homophobes, just because of how it goes. In the end, I put our African tunes, African rhythms, and the drums. And so somehow they don't like the message in it, but then they find themselves dancing on the song.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why even for my music career, people don't like the queer Grace, but they want Grace who has a nice voice. So they can call me to sing, but they don't like about who I am, but they like the song. So I've received both positive and negative feedback, but even positive feedback from the queer community saying, the song is nice, the rhythm is nice. I wish you don't use those words. I wish you put God somewhere. But then the community appreciated this song, the queer community in Uganda, and I want to thank them. They really supported me. And they're supporting me. And I should say we are doing another cover, Nakapera way, and we are going to release it on our independence. That is next month.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah.
That is great. Now, you know what, Grace, you are a celebrated individual. Let me tell everybody, the National Coalition, yes, the National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders, Uganda, has recognized your contributions to human rights in the region. And SMUG, SMUG, which is Sexual Minorities Uganda, which has been at the forefront of battling against anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, has awarded you Best Young Leader. So congratulations. Now, don't break your hand patting yourself on the back. However, tell us what these honors mean to you.
These honors mean a lot. Let me start with the National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders. It is not a queer-based organization. No, it's a general organization that is working with different human rights defenders, those who work with children, those who work with widows, those who work with all the diverse. But then in Eastern region, that's having maybe more than 100 human rights defenders. Being recognized, yet I'm a queer person. It spoke volumes. Yes, it's not queer-based, but it supports and works with queer people. It spoke volumes, and it means my work is seen. My energy is recognized. I am not working for free. No, I mean that I am not wasting time.
Right.
These scars that I look at every day, and maybe I'm appreciated for my work, they speak volumes. So these awards really mean a lot to me. When I speak about SMUG, SMUG has a leadership academy, and I'm one of the first pioneers for this academy. And so yeah. Thank you. And kudos to SMUG and my mentors. They've been my mentors too. So when we were graduating, they gave out, I think, 2 to 3 awards. And I wasn't thinking about it. I was just like, okay, when are we ending this and have cocktail? So they get some awards and then read out my name and then appreciate my efforts. I was like, yo, I screamed out loudly. I'll share the pictures with you. I was shocked. I didn't see that. So they really pushed me, but also they really pushed me to mentor other people.
Right.
Yeah. So these awards have really kept me going. And to everyone out there, learn to appreciate people. It speaks volumes. Learn to appreciate people. We are not working to be appreciated, but we deserve those appreciations. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, being recognized for your good works, they help push you along, they motivate you, and they inspire you. So again, congratulations. Going back to Lived Realities Uganda, Grace, what do you hope to accomplish with the organization in the next few years? How do you want it to evolve?
Yeah, in the next few years, but allow me to first talk about the next 5 months.
Oh,
in
sure,
Uganda,
please.
Yeah, in Uganda, we're in a period of elections.
Okay.
And we're in trouble, unfortunately. It is unfortunately that since events have happened, but events have continuously happened 2023, 2024, and 2025. Here, leaders use us as weapons. If you vote me, I'll kick homosexuals out of Uganda. If you vote me, I'll pass this anti-law and other laws that are coming up. But also, we have no chance to really decide who our leaders are going to be. A trans person cannot line up in the polls to vote because there are other people. It's a general community. A trans person will not stand there to make decisions on who the leaders she wants. Because they'll be humiliated, they'll be chased out, they'll be beaten. We are in fear right now. So one of the things that we are looking at in the next 5 months, we are looking at ways of protecting the entire queer community during elections, where we want to develop an emergency app that someone can use to notify us that they're in danger, and we can really run to them and give them support. And this app is really gonna be developed just because of this period. We are limited and we are volunteers, we have no resources, but at least we have reactors and we have we have an emergency response team. So we want to develop an app that people can use to really report these emergencies. But also we want to have more safe spaces where we can protect our community during elections, because it's really tough. But then going back now, let me speak about the next 5 years.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
We've done advocacy. We have the DIC, the Meaning Clinic. We have the health workers that are willing to work with us. Boom! Trump orders come in. USAID is closed.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I want to tell you, it is hard to find a piece of lubricant now. So the things that used to happen in 2018 are now happening again after all these efforts we've put in. Because USAID is closed, we had implementers, IPs of USAID, they also closed out. There are no medical support that we want because we're looking at the package that we want. It is hard for someone to get lubricants. It is hard for someone to get HIV self-testing kits. The government will hold them and then release them when they're expired. So we are looking at enhancing and strengthening our health system in the next 5 years. And what can we do? Because USAID has closed. I've been reading here, UN is proposing that UNAIDS get closed.
Yeah.
And we are a rural community. That means donors are running out. So we are finding ways, one, to strengthen our health sector, but also to be independent. That we have avenues, we have sectors where we can get our own money, our own funds. So we want to empower each and every queer person with economic empowerment skills, reasonable economic empowerment skills, that if the shelter is raided or if the shelter is full, one can move out and maybe they can get support and maybe they can be independent. But we are also motivating and pushing the queer community to join politics. To go there and make decisions for us. We go there and make our own decisions. We are tired of people predicting of what we want. We want to see queer voices in parliament, in leadership, speaking for what we want. But also we are looking at, as an organization, we are looking at emerging, because in Msoga sub-region there are 9 districts, and for now we can only serve the 3 districts. Maybe, I don't know how you call them there, cities. So we want to emerge and serve the entire community because many people are left out. We don't want to leave them out, but because of resources. Yeah. So those are some of our plans as lived realities Uganda.
And you know that, Grace, that's a great strategy of being involved in the government because you know, you have to be behind the scenes, so to speak, in order to make change. So, yeah, that's a excellent strategy. Do you have a GoFundMe page for your cause?
For now, there is one that we have. I think I can share it while we're mobilizing for Safe House. But then we want to create one that is strictly for the organization growth. But there is one that I can share. But we want to create out another one that is strictly for organization growth and doing all this work that we've talked about.
Okay, I tell you what. After the show, would you give me that link? And what we will do is we will put a banner up at the end of the show.
Yeah.
With all of that information. So let me ask you this. How do we contact you? How do we connect with you? Give us all of your social media.
So I'm so active on X, which is Twitter. It's easier for me to say Twitter rather than X. So you go and search for Greystone. You see my beautiful picture there. Then I'm
Yes.
also on Instagram. You search for Greystone. I have a few beautiful pictures there. And then you can find me on Facebook. Facebook, the names are a bit different for security because there are many noisemakers on Facebook. So I didn't want people to really easily track me. But you search for Gracious Alali Stone. Alali is Arali. Gracious Alali Stone. And then maybe I can read out my WhatsApp number because that's easy for.
Yeah, no, we won't do that.
Oh, for safety. Okay, please.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
right.
how someone can find. Yeah.
Would you do me a favor and spell out the entire address for your social media? Letter by letter.
Greystone on Twitter, Greystone on Instagram, Greystone on YouTube, Greystone UG, meaning Uganda. Then on Facebook, it's Gracious Alaliston. Gracious, which is GRACIOUS. Then Alali, ARAALI. Then Stone, STONE. That's for Facebook. It's a bit long. The rest are easy. Greystone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, Mr. Greystone, thank you so much
I
for
am not
dropping.
Mr. Sorry. My pronouns are
I'm
they,
sorry.
them. I am not Mr. My pronouns are they, them. So
Well,
Greystone, what's better?
you are messing up my outro. You're messing it up. So let's start all. I'm just listen. I'm just pulling your leg. I'm playing with you. Anyway, what I was going to say is, Grace Stone, thank you so much for dropping by. Wyatt, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm so humble. This is a great platform for someone like me to be on. Thank you so much.
Well,
Was that
listen,
amazing?
You are more than deserving, and you have to come back. Yeah, so y'all, there you have it. You can find the official Wyatt podcast page at WyattEvans.com, the go-to destination for LGBTQ plus news, features, commentary, and entertainment. WyattEvans.com is visited by more than 100 countries on the regular. All I can say to that is, hey, baby. And at WyattEvans.com, you'll find my smoking hot, HAWT hot, Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. And as you just saw on the top, the newest installment is called Shattered. I said Shattered. And y'all, Shattered is full of action, danger, intrigue, sexually charged situations, passion, and all of the wonderful elements that you're used to in the Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. So get your new copy of Shattered. Now you can follow me, your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans, all across social media, and poof is right there for you to peruse, like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any comments or whatever, you can hit me up at wyattonair@gmail.com. So until next time, y'all, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. I said woof.